Hello, and welcome back to Spy Tech Files. We're stepping back into the deepest shadows of the 20th century. Some wars are fought with guns, others with shadows. But this one, the Cold War, was fought in silence, in coded messages, and in the hearts of men who trusted no one. Let's pause here for a second. We are about to dive into a world of paranoia, betrayal, and power. Because somewhere, even now, the shadow of two invisible empires still lingers. A rivalry born not from borders, but from fear itself. If you are ready to step into that world, stay with us. After the Second World War ended, the world split into two visions of control. On one side stood the United States, draped in capitalism and democracy. On the other, the Soviet Union, shaped by socialism and driven by a belief in equality through authority. But beneath these grand ideologies was the same hunger: domination. And from this hunger were born two monsters of intelligence: the CIA and the KGB, agencies that would wage the deadliest silent war in human history. The conflict was not about armies. It was about information. Knowledge became the deadliest weapon. The Cold War was fundamentally a technological arms race, fought not with missiles first, but with micrometers and coded transmissions. And today, we are unlocking the declassified history of the tools they used. The focus was not just on the atomic bomb. It was on the tiny, ingenious devices designed to steal the secrets that built the bomb. Take, for instance, the legendary city of Berlin, a shattered chessboard of invisible moves. Western and Eastern agents exchanged briefcases, and that briefcase itself might have been the key. It could contain a Minox sub-miniature camera. Known as the spy camera, this tiny device, about the size of a cigarette lighter, allowed agents to photograph documents at a moment's notice. It was compact, silent, and entirely disposable if necessary. A perfect tool for the dark corners of espionage. The KGB, masters of infiltration, were equally inventive, perhaps even more so. They utilized the Great Seal Bug, officially called the Thing. This passive listening device, an acoustic marvel, was hidden inside a carving of the Great Seal of the United States, a gift to the U.S. ambassador in Moscow. The Thing required no batteries, operating purely when hit by a specific microwave signal from a nearby surveillance van. It was a physics marvel of its time, a perfect, silent parasite, providing real-time audio. Both sides were not just stealing secrets, they were stealing the means to steal secrets. Espionage had become the new economy, where knowledge was currency and technology was its vault key. It was a terrifyingly efficient system, but the silent war was not fought only with metal and glass. Psychological warfare became the new battlefield. Both sides learned that controlling perception was as powerful as controlling armies. The CIA launched operations like Mockingbird, quietly recruiting Western journalists to shape public opinion. Meanwhile, the KGB perfected its art of disinformation, a program known as active measures, or aktivniye meropryatiya. This was not simple propaganda. This was engineering reality itself. They would spread forged documents, fake letters, and conspiracy stories that seemed plausible enough to stick. Imagine planting a fake cable in an obscure newspaper and watching it spread until it was a global headline. This tactic laid the groundwork for what modern analysts now call information warfare. The KGB's Department D specialized in this operations designed to distort reality. They proved that the world's superpowers no longer needed to invade a nation. They could simply make its citizens question what was real, and that was the point. Truth was no longer objective. It became a weapon in itself. This is the tragic truth in this segment of declassified history. They made us lose faith in the truth. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, the world saw the end of the Cold War. But for the intelligence world, it was only a transition, not a final conclusion. The players changed, but the game, the silent war of information, did not. It simply moved into a new dimension: cyberspace. Many former KGB officers simply changed uniforms, or, chillingly, sold their immense skills to the private sector and to emerging state actors. They brought their Cold War playbook: infiltration, sabotage, and disinformation into the digital age. And this is where the declassified history of the CIA and KGB becomes a crucial lesson for today. We are no longer fighting spies exchanging briefcases in Berlin. We are fighting cybercriminals and state-sponsored hackers wielding keyboards. The same principles of psychological operations and technological infiltration now manifest as cybercrime and digital age crime. Then, an agent uses a bug to steal a blueprint. Now, a hacker uses malware to steal an entire national database. The stakes are, fundamentally, identical. We must take the lessons learned from the Cold War's spycraft and apply them to our digital defense. Here is what Cold War espionage teaches us about fighting modern cybercrime. First, the strategy of prevention. The KGB relied on the West's lack of internal security. Today, your personal data is the new Minox camera. The first step of prevention is basic, multi-factor authentication, and using strong, unique passwords. You must treat your digital self like a deep cover agent, never compromise your identity. Second, the threat of disinformation, or phishing. Just as the KGB crafted fake documents, modern cybercriminals use phishing and social engineering to exploit human trust. They prey on loneliness, haste, and fear. The lesson: do not trust the source. Verify the identity. Always assume the hand offering you friendship online might be a test. Third, the art of rapid recovery. When the CIA was compromised by a mole, entire networks were wiped out. When a business or individual is hit by a ransomware attack today, the recovery plan must be instantaneous. Offline backups are your digital safe house. They ensure that even if the enemy breaches the compound, they cannot destroy your mission. The KGB and CIA taught us that in a silent war, paranoia is a form of protection. It is a necessary vigilance. The Cold War had turned into a religion of fear. Today, the enemy is not a person or a nation anymore. It is the idea that power demands secrecy, and that truth is a threat. The spy war left scars, nations destabilized, families torn apart, and a global culture of mistrust that still lingers. The techniques perfected in that era continue to echo in modern cyber conflicts. The Cold War may have ended, but the mindset it created never truly died. The battlefield has simply shifted from the streets of Berlin to the networks of cyberspace. In the end, this declassified history is not just a tale of two empires. It is a blueprint for the future. The most dangerous wars are not fought with weapons, but with information. And the most powerful spies are not the ones hiding in the dark, but the ones controlling what the world believes is real. Protect your information. Question the narrative. The silent war is still on. Thank you for tuning in to SpyTech Files. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling declassified history and deep dives into the world of intelligence. Stay safe and stay vigilant.